Welcome along to this CrowdProperty pre-launch webinar. This is for the building which was the former non-conformist chapel, Wyndham Hall, Wyndham Street East in Plymouth. That's PL1 5HE. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. So Wyndham Hall is located in Plymouth in Devon, known for its maritime heritage and historic Barbican district with narrow cobbled streets. Planning's been granted for a change of use from a gymnasium stroke sports hall to become 6 separate high-end HMOs, providing a total of 30 units, most with en-suites and generous communal areas. Plymouth itself has a population of about 235,000 and is connected to the rest of the country via the A38 and the A30. Bristol is approximately 80 miles to the northwest, and London is a further 190 miles. The borrowers have recently purchased the property, and it has a RICS valuation as is at £250,000, but the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors estimate the gross development value at being £1.9 million. CrowdProperty has agreed to lend the borrower £1.05 million, and that's over 3 phases. This particular webinar is looking at the first phase. So phase 1 loan is £300,000, with those 2 further raises scheduled to take part in Q1 of 2019. The loan term is a maximum of 18 months. We do believe it'll be a lot less than that, but it will be a maximum of 18 months, and CrowdProperty will take a first charge security on the project. So the development is located in central Plymouth's historic quarter near the cathedral and less than half a mile from the city centre and within walking distance of the university, the train station and other public transport links. Plymouth is a vibrant ocean city with a growing population of young professionals looking for high quality social places to live and work, those kinds of environments. The immediate district is predominantly residential. The property itself is a Grade 2 listed former chapel, last used as a gymnasium and sports hall, although it has now been empty for quite a number of years. And the property is detached. It's constructed of solid rendered stone with a pitched roof and has a site coverage of approximately 90%. Planning permission has been granted by Plymouth City Council. Their reference number is 17/02043/FUL. Permission granted then to convert the chapel into 6 separate HMOs, which will total 30 rooms. Conversion works will take approximately 42 weeks, and it's been tendered to cost £1.031 million. The borrower plans to refinance onto a long-term mortgage and then hold onto the property. A first charge security is being offered, and the term is a maximum of 18 months. So here's the location map. You can see Plymouth there, A38, that road coming in through the right hand side and continuing through Plymouth heading down towards Cornwall. You can see the CrowdProperty flag just there in the middle, very central. Just to the left is Devonport, that's a very large naval base, and more or less at the bottom of that CrowdProperty flag, if you go down to the coast, that's where the Hoe is, a very famous part of Plymouth. So very central is what we're talking about here. The location and property itself is located on Wyndham Street. That's immediately west of the Plymouth city centre and approximately 0.7 miles from the mainline railway station. Wyndham Street is adjacent to the A374 main arterial road, and that provides vehicle access around the Plymouth city centre central business district. The property is located in a residential area with associated community and commercial properties within easy walking distance. You see on the right there's sort of a map as well of the town. You can see where the CrowdProperty map is, the little flag in the centre, and it's just close to the cathedral there. So a nice part of town there as a location. Here's the inside of the chapel. It's not been operational for a number of years, but it's been cleared. It's got a full height shell to use. Interestingly, the developers were telling me earlier that these sort of gymnasium frames here are going to be knocked down, and some windows are going to be put into that wall as part of the planning permission. I'll show you how that's going to work in just a few moments. So the proposed development then has planning permission granted under the code 17/02043/FUL for 6 separate HMOs to provide 30 rooms. I'll show you the floor layouts in just a moment. On the right hand side you can see how the building looks currently from the sort of back angle of it. The total site area is 490 square metres, that's 5,272 square feet. A total of 6 separate HMO units are going to be built, providing those 30 rooms. On unit 1 is going to be on the lower ground floor, that's 181.3 square metres. Unit 2 is on the ground floor, 106.9 square metres, and unit 3 is also on the ground floor, that's 104 square metres. Unit 4 is going to be then on the first floor, that square metres is 105.4, with unit 5 also being on the first floor, 104.8 square metres, and then unit 6 is on the second floor, the top floor. That's going to be 141.1 square metres. Here are those proposed floor plans. So you see on the left hand side the lower ground floor plan, in the middle the ground floor, and on the right hand side is the first floor plan. So you will come in from here. This takes you just underground, just down this bit here, which you will come in. This here is the services room. This is where the boilers are going to be and all those kinds of services. This here is a storeroom. Developers have got a plan to maybe turn that into a bit of a cinema space, maybe, although that's not going to be initially when they're doing it, but it's some kind of a storeroom in here. You then come in this section and go into the lower ground floor flat. So you've got rooms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a large kitchen, lounge, diner space. Each of these rooms also have an ensuite, and you can join them on both sides here. Coming back out through here, you've then got the stairs, which will take you upstairs, or you can actually come in through these doors here. And then on here you've got then a large lounge, kitchen, diner here at the front of the 2 units. You can't go through, there's got a sealed wall here, but each one of these on the left and the right has 1, 2, 3 and 4 ensuite bedrooms. If you then go up the stairs onto the first floor, again got the kitchen diners at the front. Again, 2 separate units split by this wall here, with rooms 1, 2, 3 and 4 on each side, and all of those have en suites. And then when we go up then onto the second floor, or the top floor, you then come up the stairs here. You've then got a large lounge, kitchen, diner here. These 2 rooms share a bathroom in the middle of them, but the other rooms have en suites. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms there having en suite. Of course, lots of skylights here as well to bring in plenty of light, and also importantly a sky well here to cover the stairs just there. Looking at it from a different angle, that's the proposed elevations of this building, looking there from the front. This here is looking at the building from the back. This is also the front, but with a cutaway of the basement. That's how it looks in reality, but there is that sloping part coming down to the underside there of the basement area, the lower ground floor. This is then looking from the one side of the building, and this is then looking from the opposite side. What I think will also be useful to you is the proposed development CGI. So that's the building there looking sort of in a 3D type image, and then if you cut it from left to right, then that's how it looks. There's the stairwells here in the middle with the rooms down each side and also across the top. And if we then dissect it across that way, this is then how it looks going from sort of front to back, if you like. These are the different floors: lower ground floor, first floor and second floor just there. So looking then to an overview of the project financials and the proposed loan, well, the current market value is £250,000. That has been verified by RICS. The estimated conversion cost is £1 million. The quantity surveyor has estimated that, and the total gross development value is £1.9 million, based on the conversion to 6 separate HMOs with a total of 30 rooms amongst all those 6 separate HMOs. RICS verified, of course, and the loan facility is going to be £1.05 million. This is going to be raised in 3 separate raises, and those phases start with this one. This is the phase 1 raise. The initial loan to value is 70%, and the loan, including the interest to the gross development at the end of the term, is forecast to be 63.6%. The exit strategy is to refinance and hold as an investment. The proposed loan facility is £1.05 million. The day one raise is £300,000, and then £175,000 worth of that money is going to be released on day one. The remaining phase one money is going to be drawn down in stages upon the independent monitoring surveyor's reports. Phase 2 and phase 3 raises are expected in January and March 2019, with the initial loan to value then being 70% and that falling to 63.6% loan to value when you include rolled up interest at the exit. It's all secured with a first charge against the property that protects the investor's money in this project. 8% per annum interest is being paid on the project, and the interest paid at the end of the project. Maximum loan is 18 months. It is expected to be a lot less than that, and the minimum loan period is 6 months. The loan is planned to commence in October, that's the 31st of October 2018, and then the capital plus the interest will be repaid from the refinance of the completed residential projects. So, here's a little bit more detail then about the borrower. Now, the borrower is KHP Wyndham Hall Limited. The KHP group of companies specialise in commercial conversions and particularly listed building conversions for either the sale or rental markets. KHP borrowed from CrowdProperty for their project in Saltash back in 2016, and they repaid CrowdProperty and all the lenders in full back in 2017, so they're now coming back to CrowdProperty to fund this next project. KHP has development projects across South Devon. The directors are listed below, and between them they have over 50 years of combined experience in residential and commercial property investment and also development. Philip Bailey, he's well qualified, lots of initials after his name, 30 or more years experience of running his own architect's practice, that's specialising in residential and commercial property development and conversions, including listed building projects. Philip's completed the redevelopment of his own current house, converting it from a 2-bed bungalow into a 7-bedroom luxury home. Kyle Bailey is his son. He's a building surveyor with 10 years experience, specialising in timber frame buildings, having worked for an architect's practice for over 10 years. His focus for KHP is on the drawings and construction detail, putting together specifications and monitoring the on-site productivity, quality and also cash flow. Xylena Bailey is a professional qualified HR consultant. She's passionate about saving historic buildings. Her focus is providing internal design schemes for all KHP projects, the sales and marketing, and also the HR agenda for their growing team. And by the way, she's the wife of Philip Bailey. James York is an experienced construction project manager, having previously led multi-million-pound commercial developments for a national construction company. He studied construction management at Plymouth University and then joined a nationwide construction company. He manages the projects for KHP, ensuring a competent supply chain is appointed to deliver the schemes on budget and on time, with the health and safety agenda being paramount. Murat Haykir, or Mo as we call him for short, is an experienced project manager specialising in leading large global change initiatives for multinational financial institutions. Mo's a full-time property investor and developer and is co-founder and director of KHP Group of Companies. Prior to jumping into property full-time, Mo worked for both Lloyds Banking Group and HSBC as a project manager, working on global multi-million-pound regulatory change projects. James and Mo, they've completed a Grade 2 listed conversion of a substantial house in Plymouth. They made it into a 6-bed high-end professional HMO and also a 2-bed flat. They also own and operate a highly successful HMO lettings agency. It's called Moorview Lets in Plymouth. They manage some 120 rooms, and Moorview Lets will manage Wyndham Hall, so this project, to ensure that KHP have quality tenants, and the team have between them a portfolio of HMOs with some 80 or more rooms together, with single houses, flats and service accommodation properties, mainly located in Plymouth and the southwest. Now, CrowdProperty believes in responsible lending and borrowing. The amount of the loan here is based on the project and the experience of the developers. CrowdProperty has agreed to lend £1.05 million, raised in 3 tranches. This is tranche number 1, so phase 1, it's to raise £300,000 with the release on day 1 of £175,000. The initial loan to value is 70% based on the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors valuation of £250,000. The loan to value at the exit is based on the RICS gross development value of £1.9 million, so that's 63.6%. CrowdProperty will have the first charge to protect lenders in the event of any default, and the remaining funds will be drawn on independent monitoring surveyors verification. The loan term is 18 months. It's expected though to only last about 10 or 11 months, maybe June, July, August, that sort of time in 2019, as a guess from the developer, but CrowdProperty likes to add just a little bit extra time on just in case they overrun. So the loan term is maximum of 18 months and a minimum of 6 months. The loan targeted to commence then on the 31st of October 2018. So your next steps then are, please, to make sure that you understand the loan. It's important that you carry out your own due diligence both on the project and also on the developers involved in this particular project. Decide how much you would like to lend and then go to crowdproperty.com and pledge on launch. The launch is 10 o'clock on Friday the 12th of October 2018. So you can go to CrowdProperty anytime prior to that. It automatically goes live at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday the 12th of October for you to be able to pledge on that launch. And then CrowdProperty will conduct the necessary anti-money laundering checks, and you'll then be invited to send your funds to your own secure online e-wallet, and you'll start earning interest on completion of the loan agreement. So thank you for listening to this pre-launch webinar for Wyndham Hall in Plymouth. I hope you can support us on this project. Remember, it goes live at 10 o'clock on Friday the 12th of October. Thanks for being us on this webinar, and we look forward to you joining us again too on more projects in the future.